Everybody go.
Whoa.
What hand is it, Mitchell? Is it your
Left.
Right between him. Right there on his bumper spot.
Want to get rid of my case.
All right, so there's a little preamble there of the New Brunswick Dirt Rider Association's Round 3 Hare Scramble Series. This one's taking place at McQuade. McQuade is considered one of the harder ones, or if not the hard one for this 4-round series.
Just do it off the side.
And the preamble gives you a little bit of idea of East Coast Canada racing series. It's pretty laid back and pretty relaxed, and everyone's here just to have a good time.
Go, boys. Hand on helmet. Hand on the helmet.
And they're off. And pretty soon, I'm off. There we go. So I've learned not to sweat these starts too much. They are what they are. I don't get out of the gate too fast. I just can't hear the bike start. So we come through this little part here to stretch us out. It's a bit of a chicane before we get on the track proper. Don Seeley takes me on the inside. Cool, but he's got to brake hard for another rider. And we both stall. And you'll see I have some problems here.
Yeah, my Bendix is acting up, so you can see that I hit the starter 2-3 times there. The first 2 times nothing happened. I blow the tape here in my frustration, but I feel like everyone in the entire class has gotten ahead of me, and I got to make up time, so it's go time. Gotta go.
This little loop around has brought us back by the start and stretched us out as intended, and now, right now, we're on the track proper. Unfortunately, I'm not where I need to be. I should be in the front leading this pack, but reality is I am not skilled or fast, so I am where I am. Listen to me, like I'm going anywhere fast. Lack of skills aside, I'm fired up from this rough start, piling in the back of Donnie, my Bendix not spinning the starter, and the whole pack getting by me. So I just want to get going here, and so I'm pushing the pace a little bit, and I'm pushing the guys in front of me. I rarely pass anyone, but I get passed a lot, and usually those guys shout back a thank you for me getting out of their way. So you'd think I'd learn from those classy guys, but I didn't. So Corey, thanks for moving over, number 555, and letting me by. So this pace is a little bit below where I can be, so I'm looking for hot lines to get around people. It's tough getting through this stuff. This is not a hot line. I don't improve my position at all except for the one-stop rider. I'm trying to get around Jerome, who's right in front of me. We come around this corner, and Rod, guy on the right, a friend of mine, he's washed out in the corner. It's a tough corner because it banks to the left when you need to turn right, and it's pretty greasy as you come down this hill. So we improve our position by 2 more spots. And you know what? I'm still in the hunt to try and get ahead of Jerome and get on a natural pace for me, which is slightly faster than this. Four and a half minutes in, and I'm pushing a little bit here because I know I'm not in the middle of the pack. Now there's too many riders for me to count without taking my boots off and using my toes, so I'm just doing helmet math, but I know I'm not there yet. So I'm still trying to push and reel in a few more riders. Once I'm by myself, I know I'm in the middle of the pack, and that's where I usually am. So that's where I'm trying to go. Make another pass, that's good. I'm getting closer to my objective, which is to be all alone in the middle of the pack. Jerome, thanks very much for letting me by. getting closer now. 3 bikes stuck on this hill. Appreciate it, fellas, for making some space so I can get past. This rear tire combination with the soft mousse is working out well for me, but you know what? I'm going to declare a little bit of success here and say that my skill levels come up enough that I can usually get up these hills without stopping, and that's where you don't lose time. I'm not saying that you make up time, but you don't lose time.
It's rough, boys. That's a big fucking wall.
My apologies. Occasionally my language gets a bit colorful. Sorry. Come down around this corner and there's Mike. Mike is in orange and he and I ride in Stanley together. That's his track that he's been building. It's hard enduro areas with big hills, so there was no way I wanted to flood this hill in front of him, and I don't. So I get past another rider. I didn't know it at the time, but this rider's in the plus 40 group. That's Mark, and he looks like he's had a good time on that hill. So I don't know if he ate it coming up the hill and just got bounced off, or if he's just lost traction and is trying to push the bike up. But I get around him and keep moving. Starting to feel like I'm getting in the middle of the pack. I've just passed Devon, and he must have stopped, ordered a pizza, had a nap, took a week. Yeah, he's going to go blowing past me. He's going to make up a huge amount of time riding the wheels off that bike and actually get on the podium for a 3rd place finish. Man, I'm just breaking new ground everywhere, more than half throttle. I got some good advice before this race, and that was to race corner to corner when I could. And although this is my first lap and I'm still scoping out the track, that's what I'm trying to do. And when I reflected on my last race, I wasn't doing that, so it was one of my objectives for the next race. So incremental improvements will take me where I want to go. So as we come up around this corner, and I say we loosely because I'm in the middle of the pack now and I'm riding by myself, this takes us on to a motocross track. Now, I don't know anything about jumping the bike, and that kind of shows here. In subsequent laps, you'll have to take my word for it. I do get a little bit airborne on some of these jumps, but generally roll them because I didn't want to case it. So I set the camera slightly different for this one, and it sits a bit lower and it's a better view. You can see the bike and you can see how much the suspension is working, and it gives you a bit of an idea of how much of a workout this is if you're not a rider. If you are a rider and you do ride off-road, then you absolutely know the struggle is real. So the track takes us back into the woods here, and the first part's a bit greasy from the mud that we've pulled in off the motocross track, but that's okay. Pretty soon we're back in the flow of going left, right, left, which most of us can do on a good day, and some of us have even had quite a bit of experience doing it, mostly on a parade square with a drill sergeant yelling at us. you have no idea what I said there, it was my Joe Biden moment. Anyway, I think it was something about I should have went left instead of taking the longer route around to the right. It takes me to the same place, so it's all good. There's a fun little hill coming up here. Right at the bottom, it wallows out, so you can't really hit it with speed, and there's a bit of a jump midway, so you just kind of find that right pace, and for me, that pace is slow. Coming down into this section, it's a lot faster through here. Now I'm still scoping out the track, but in subsequent laps I go a lot faster through here, and I would dare say I even cracked the throttle past the halfway mark. As you come down this straight, you can see the checkpoint in front of you that you need to pass through, and you're thinking, hey, it's almost over. Kind of like you guys are thinking about this video. And neither one of those things are true. The track just keeps going, so do I, and so does this video. A bit of harsh language. It's one of the sweeps that's come up on me, and I didn't realize it, and I pulled over to let another rider go by, and so I was a bit torqued that it was a sweep and I was losing time and getting off pace. But a couple seconds later I realized, that's the guy I was talking to pre-race who had given me the good advice, and who I was also whining to about riding by myself. So he's come up behind me and he's putting some pressure on me because he's helping me feel like I'm racing, and it works. And so ignore the harsh language, and later on after the race I go by and I thank him because it really did help me out. As I've said on more than a few occasions, I'm usually in the middle of the pack and usually by myself, so having someone put some pressure on me actually is quite good. It brings out that extra competitive spirit and pushes you a little bit. My only misgiving is that I can't manipulate this video to make it look like I'm really fast, and I can't cut away any of the parts that make me look terrible, because now there's someone who actually saw it in real time. The trees tell the tale. That front fender belongs to Hugo, who had a bad crash right there. He injured his ribs quite badly, but kept racing and finished the race. That's bike 209, piloted by Philip. He gets by me and he is in my class, and I'm real happy for him. Oh no. I'm only joking. Philip's putting down a good pace, and he's going to come up here and pass me real soon. and I think he takes 9th overall in our class. So there's a few elevation changes throughout this race, nothing too radical. Some of the hills, as you saw, were kind of rocked out. They're fairly steep. The camera doesn't show that, but it never does. The downhills are easy though. Gravity will help you out. It will take you to the bottom on your face, on the side, on your wheels, your choice. Now getting up the hill is another story. Now, I'm usually able to clear the hill, and it's just not pretty. You'll see me paddling here with my legs and playing a lot of clutch. I'd like to be able to rip up this hill with a bit more authority. So another point to improve upon. I'm saying to myself a bit more comp as in compression. You can tell by how the bike's working that this is a pretty rough section. It looks like you should be able to fly down it, and probably could. Had I rolled on a bit more throttle, I might have skipped along on those things. But I'm still a bit weary that I'm going to get kicked off and land in the woods, and I really don't need to. The suspension's working really well with the adjustments that I've made and the refresh that I did. Just for a second there, that was the sound of getting on the pipe. I could get used to that. That's the first lap, and I do 3 more for 4 in total and take 12th overall for the class.